spoiler alert, for book 4, I really wanted to give up at the 33% mark. But now I'm already into book 4. I have to just keep going and finish it all.
Welcome to That Nerd Thing, where we uncover the magical impact that fandoms have on our lives. I'm Morgan, and today we are welcoming back a very special guest, my niece and the co-host of the Long Live Taylor podcast, Leanna. Hello, Leanna.
Hi. I feel like that was such a big intro.
So today is a special episode because Leanna has just read, for the first time ever, the first 4 Harry Potter books, and we are going to talk all about that experience. But first, I just want to remind everybody that I do not support or endorse the author's beliefs, and for me, the special part of the Harry Potter fandom and community has really just been that, the community and the fandom. And I think that's the magical piece that will always be special to me. And if you're looking for a Harry Potter podcast that is very, very inclusive, I highly recommend you go check out my friends over at MuggleCast. And of course, I have to let you know that this episode will most likely have spoilers from the first 4 Harry Potter books. So please keep in mind that although we are talking about the first 4 books and there's spoilers from those books, Leanna does know a few plot points from the books later on in the series. So just keep that in mind as you're listening to this episode, that really anything is fair game. So Leanna, how have things, before we jump into Harry Potter, how have things been going for you over on Long Live Taylor?
It's been good. We have struggled with the haters now on social media. But, I mean, at this point, it's just comical, and I'm just whatever. Obviously, not everyone's going to agree with us, so whatever. Just deal with it. We're just being us.
Well, haters mean that you've made it.
I don't think that we're not quite there yet.
You will be. So, everybody definitely go check that out. Do you want to just tell listeners, I'm sure they probably know what Long Live Taylor is about?
Sure. It is me and my cousin, Kaylin, also Morgan's niece. And basically every week we just talk about one of Taylor Swift's songs, how it relates to us, how we feel about it. We play a little game, and we have a great time.
Yeah, it's really fun. Definitely go check it out. I love watching it on YouTube. That's my favorite way to watch it. I didn't realize how much I was missing when I just listened to the audio with your facial reactions.
Oh, yeah.
It's great.
No, and sometimes I add a little dance moves in there if Kaylin's the one reading the lyrics for the day. So
yeah, I saw that. All right, so let's jump in. Leanna, so it's so funny because I remember I first, I was planning on doing this in-person book club, which didn't really kick off, which is totally okay. But I remember I said, you were in that book club, and I was like, how do you feel if we just read the Harry Potter books for the first time? And your response was, ugh, if I have to. And then I think you were hooked pretty quickly.
I think what really is my reasoning for not wanting to is because I know that there are long books, and it's a long series, and I didn't want to commit to that. And I had already watched the movies. I've seen a couple of the movies multiple times, but fully all the way through, I've only seen it once. So I felt like I had some spoilers and I had missing pieces. So part of me was like, okay, I could totally read this. I could learn about it, see what it's all about. I'm really not into the fantasy genre. So there was nothing enticing really. So in my mind, I was just like, oh, whatever. If this is going to be in the book club, sure, I'll do it. But I was hesitant, I would say. But I don't know. I think the first book, it does a really good job of capturing you.
Yeah. How soon, far into reading it, were you just sucked in?
I feel like with most books, I need to get to the 33% mark. No, I tell myself all the time, you get to 33, and if you hate it, you can give up. And spoiler alert, for book 4, I really wanted to give up at the 33% mark. But now I'm already into book 4. I have to just keep going and finish it all.
Yeah. Book 4 isn't my favorite of the series, but overall, how are you feeling about the first 4 books?
Overall, good.
Yeah, you like them?
Yeah. I think that if 3 and 4 were switched, I would have a better like feeling about going into the second half. But I will say, like, book 4 does set up very well. I do feel like them in separate halves because, like, now that Voldemort's back for real, it's like sets up for like the second half.
Yeah. I didn't even realize that, how it's like perfect that we're breaking this up into 2 parts, because initially I think we were going to do 1 episode a book, and just timing wise it never worked out that way. But I think like this is good, like a first half.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I thought I was going to be able to read a book a month and be done by August, and now we're in August and I'm only done with 4.
That's because we've read a ton of other books.
Yeah.
So in the first book, we find out that Voldemort is trying to come back, and he's kind of like in Professor Quirrell and trying to get the Sorcerer's Stone, Philosopher's Stone for immortality. In the second book, we find Tom Marvolo Riddle in the diary, and he possesses Ginny, and Harry gets rid of him by putting a basilisk fang through the diary. The third book's a little different because we learn that about Peter Pettigrew. He's kind of the one who isn't so good, and Sirius is good. And so we learn a little bit more about that connection with Harry's past and his parents and the martyrs. And then in the fourth book, we see that some sort of thing happens where Voldemort gets to come back. And we see Peter Pettigrew, doing all that stuff. And Voldemort is back. All right, so I just have a few questions before we get into some of the processy type of questions. What is your Hogwarts house?
Okay, so this is very complicated. And maybe Morgan can share her little... I should pull up the rap that you made for us. Okay, real quick backstory. For Morgan's Bachelorette, we all went to Hogwarts and Universal, and we sneakily made Morgan put us into houses, and then we all got shirts with those houses, but Morgan, most of us had combo houses, and so she made her own like sorting hat wrap for us and sent it to everyone, and then we all had our houses by Morgan sorting us.
Oh my god, I totally forgot about that. It did not take much to trick me into sorting you all.
I know. I don't even remember. That's the shirt that I should have wore. I should have wore that shirt. I don't know what you sorted me, but it's probably what I used to sort myself as, which is a Slytherin and a Ravenclaw.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. So Slitherclaw?
Yeah, but... Okay. I am a villain lover. I love the villain always in like movies and TV shows. I really enjoy like the villain arc and like knowing about them and seeing like what made them become a villain. So this is so funny because it's not even Voldemort that I like. It's Draco that I like. But reading the book has made me hate him.
Yeah, I was about to say, is it Draco or is it Tom Felton?
Yeah, probably Tom. So I think he did a really good job at portraying him, but the book makes him worse, for sure. So I don't really want to be associated with Slytherin now that I've read some of the books.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
That it's funny because Nick said to me last night, he was like, "Oh, what's your house?" And I was like, "I used to be a Slytherclaw, but now I'm only associated as a Ravenclaw."
Honestly though, I think you have a little bit of Hufflepuff in you.
Really?
Yeah, I think you're very loyal. I think you care about the people you care about, and it's very rare for you to say no to want to do something to help someone.
I guess that is true. Now I'm like, am I Cedric? That's who I'm comparing myself to.
Yeah.
Were people sad about Cedric? Like, is that like a thing in the community to be sad about him?
I think for me, yes, but I think in the movie it was more painful because of his father. When you see him come back, just like that crying and that screaming. I was surprised when, you haven't seen the movie yet, or at least not recently. I think it was very painful in the movie. I think that's like the sign, like, okay, things are getting dark.
Yeah. It was like how easily they could just kill off somebody. I was shocked.
Oh yeah, it doesn't get better from here.
Well, I mean, if you're listening to this, I'm going to spoil more than just book 4 because I do know some things. I am not ready for Dobby.
Oh.
So I do know it gets dark because I think that's going to hurt the most.
That one is painful.
I thought it was going to happen this book.
Really?
I don't remember when it comes. Also, I haven't seen this movie 4. I've only seen one time when I watched the series throughout, like fully. So I really don't remember anything about this movie. I don't know what the differences are between. And this was the first book so far where I didn't spoil myself. I didn't know what was going to come, what was going to happen.
Yeah, that's great. How are you avoiding spoilers?
I'm not in that community where people are still talking about Harry Potter.
That's true. That's true. And people don't know that you're reading it for the first time. I think about Kiara over on like TikTok and Instagram. She's reading Harry Potter for the first time and she has a massive following. I'm like, man, I'm so glad she has people to help her avoid spoilers because I can't imagine having to deal with that.
Yeah, no. I just think also like on TikTok, I will not search anything Harry Potter related because then it'll just start popping up and then I will get spoiled.
Yeah, and there's some pretty spoilery stuff that happens later on that I think is very powerful if you don't know it yet.
I don't know. I feel like there are some things I remember and some things I don't. Some things I just like have a feeling like, why do I feel like I know what's going to happen?
Ooh, okay. We'll talk about predictions too. Do you have any you want to share?
I don't know because I don't know if they're true predictions or if I know like my subconscious has it somewhere in there that I know what's going to happen. I truly don't even think I know what happens at the end.
Good. The movies aren't an accurate reflection of the end. That I could tell you.
Wow. I don't even remember the movies, I don't think.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
In my mind, I'm like, maybe Voldemort does die, but I'm like, I don't remember him dying. Mm-hmm. And like, I remember it being like Harry almost dying or like real close. I don't know. I've only seen the Deathly Hallows 1 and 2. I've only seen them once as well.
Oh, this is so exciting. You really don't know what's happening.
No.
What's your favorite of the 4 books so far?
3. I don't know them by name. Actually, I do. Okay. 1 is the Sorcerer's Stone or the Philosopher's Stone, right?
Yeah.
Why
do you put that in quotes?
Because that's what it's called in England, right?
I think that's what it's called everywhere except for the United States.
Oh, wow.
And that was because the publishers thought Americans were too stupid to know what philosopher meant.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I do like that one, but that one, I've seen the movie so many times. I knew basically exactly what was going to happen. And like, it's basically like, just like the backstory. So I feel like it was good. It caught my attention at least. Like I was excited to read it. I read that one very, very quickly. Mm-hmm. And then what's 2?
Chamber of Secrets.
Oh, okay. Oh, Chamber of Secrets. I've seen that movie so many times too. So that one I knew exactly what was going to happen.
Okay.
Except that's the one with the werewolf, right?
Mm-mm. That's Azkaban, Prisoner of Azkaban.
Okay, wait. I'm like, what's like the big twist in 2?
The Diary and Tom Marvolo Riddle.
Oh, yeah, I knew all that then. I guess in book 1, I knew Lupin. That's his name, right?
Quirrell in book 1. Professor Quirrell.
Oh, Lupin's the other. See, there's too many. Lupin's the werewolf?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So I see. Okay. This is what happens when you read them all so close to each other. They all get blended together. But anyway, so most of the twists, I'm like, I think this is coming, but I'm not quite sure. But definitely the werewolf, I did not know anything about the werewolf. But I did know about Sirius.
Wow. What about Sirius? What did you know?
I knew he wasn't bad.
Okay.
So the whole time I'm just like, you can't convince me that he's bad. I know he's not.
Yeah. Okay. So your favorite is Prisoner of Azkaban?
Yes.
Me too. I love it.
Even all of them, you think?
I think just because of the time travel. I think I just love the concept of time travel, and it's always so fun for me to read. But I love the plot development over the books. It's really hard for me to pick a favorite. I do really enjoy Deathly Hallows.
Well, yes. For now, Prisoner of Azkaban is my favorite. I do really like Sirius. I wish he was more in book 4.
Because he's kind of in hiding.
Mm-hmm. But now he's out. So I'm hoping in 5 he's there more.
Yeah. What is your least favorite book so far?
Definitely 4. It's not that I don't like the Triwizard competition. I just think if you're going to make the book about it, give me more. I felt like everything in between was kind of boring. I felt like if I just read only about the competition, it would have been just enough for me to read the whole book.
Interesting. So yeah, because book 4 is when we really start getting a lot of new characters and backstories and stuff. Yeah, you know, you might have a good time going back and listening to Mugglecast whenever you're done with all the books, because they do a chapter by chapter analysis, and it's really fun.
Maybe it'll make me more interested in it.
I was on one of their episodes for book 4.
Oh wow,
The pensive.
Oh, okay. No, I enjoyed that part.
Yeah. So tell me some of your favorite characters.
I feel like I just don't have any. Okay, I really like Hagrid.
Yes.
I don't know. Like, I wouldn't say I know people like have strong thoughts about like Ron, Hermione, and Harry, and like usually you have a favorite of the 3, but I don't really.
Okay.
I know Ron and Hermione have like a thing, but I don't know if I haven't gotten to this point yet, but I have no reason to want them together. Mm-hmm. I guess you can kind of see that Hermione kind of likes Harry, but I also don't see them together.
Interesting. When I was reading the books, I was definitely a Ron Hermione shipper for sure.
By book 4, you think?
I don't remember. So let's see. When I first started reading the books, the first 3 were out. Yeah, so I read the first 3, and then the 4th book, I remember a family friend worked at Walmart and got it at midnight, and when he went home after his shift, he like left it in the mailbox for me to read the next morning. So definitely before maybe it was in book 4 that I started like having those sorts of feelings.
Yeah, because I was gonna say he kind of likes her in book 4.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so you don't really have any standout characters, but you really like Hagrid. So you know who's not in the movies but's in the books, and I think is such a great character is Peeves. What do you think about Peeves?
I see him, like, he's just an extra guy. I feel like if he was in the movie, like, it would be cool, but I didn't even think about it.
So I know you said you dislike Draco now, and that was kind of a little bit of a shock.
Yeah, I don't know if it's maybe just because, like, I'm older and wiser, but I just think he's a bully, and I don't like it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm just going to remind everybody that there might be spoilers from later books at this point. We haven't said anything big, but it's possible that some things might come up. I don't know what Leanna knows or not. Are there any characters that you're kind of like suspicious about, but you're not sure how to feel about them?
No, because I know, I kind of know about Snape. So I feel like if I was going to be suspicious about anyone, it would be Snape. But I kind of know. I don't remember. I mean, obviously, okay, so he has like the Death Eater mark. I know he was a follower of Voldemort, but I don't know the story of how he became good, but I know he is truly good, and I know Dumbledore really does trust him and believe in him. I don't want to say the big spoiler, I know. I feel like that would really ruin it for people if they really...
Okay.
Because I know a giant spoiler.
Yeah, and if it's a spoiler, I think it is. I have a story to tell you about that, and we'll save that for our next episode.
Okay.
Because I think reading the things is different than you just knowing from the movies. That's why. Mm-hmm. So, okay, Leanna, if you had to pick out of these 4 magical objects, which one would you want the most? The Marauder's Map, an invisibility cloak, a time turner, or a pensive?
A pensive.
Ooh, okay. Tell me why.
I think that I would want to go back and like relive memories.
Yeah.
Right? Because I mean, not only can you just like suck everything out and make sure it stays, like you can remember it forever, but then you can also kind of like live it.
That's a really good point. I was thinking, okay, like the Marauder's Map, like whatever. I don't need to see where everybody is. Mm-hmm. The Time Turner, as much as I love time, I've also seen enough time travel movies to know that I don't want to risk anything.
Exactly.
The invisibility cloak, I was like, okay, I'll pick that because like that's the most practical. What do I need a pensive for? I have my memories. But like, no, that's a good point because you get to really, really see it from an objective point of view of what actually happened.
Yeah. And I feel like, what if you forget some of your memories?
Yeah, that's true.
Here, you wouldn't ever really forget. I mean, there would probably be way too many. And you have to really sift through, but
yeah,
why not?
Good point. So do you have a wand?
No, I do not.
You'll have to get one.
Yes. So I want to go back to Universal after I read all the books and like experience it for the first time.
Oh man, I'm excited for that. Do you want to see my 3 wands?
You have 3?
Yeah. I feel like that's not even that many. For some reason, I thought I had 4, but I only have 3. Maybe I do. Do I have another one? Maybe I do, but these are like the 3 primary ones. So this is one that was custom made for me as a birthday present years ago. Isn't that pretty?
Wow. Yeah. And
then I have, so if you're listening, you could go check it out on YouTube or, yeah. This is Harry Potter's wand that I got way, like many years ago before the theme park even opened. I can't remember the name of the website. And then this is my MuggleCast wand that I got for being a Patreon. Yeah. So I have 3 wands. I don't think I'll get any more. But yeah, we got to get you a wand.
I know. You didn't get... I thought you got one when we went to Universal Grand Opening.
No, I didn't, because I got some other things when we were there instead, because I already had 2 wands at that point. Oh, no, I had 1 wand at that point. I didn't really, need more. I have a time turner. I should have put all my Harry Potter stuff behind me for this episode. Maybe for the next one. I have a time turner. I have Fox. I have Hedwig. I have so much Harry Potter stuff.
I wanted to say something about Hedwig. People really talk about her, but I feel like she's not very prominent. And she's kind of snotty.
I love Hedwig. Oh, so what if you went to Hogwarts, which animal would you want to have as a pet?
A cat.
Of course. Okay. I love Crookshanks.
I mean, I do think having an owl is helpful, but there's owls I can use anytime, right?
I'm not sure. That's a good question.
I think there are some that you could use, because when Harry was sending letters to Sirius, I think he was using a bunch of different ones.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, I haven't read the books in so long, even though I've read them many, many times. What have been some of the most shocking moments for you so far?
So the biggest one is in book 4. When I got to the point where, well, I guess technically Moody wasn't really bad, but you didn't know that yet. So I'm like, what? How is this Moody? I'm reading this and I'm like, please don't be Moody. Moody took Harry away to his office. And I'm like, please don't be Moody. Please don't be Moody. Please don't be Moody. And then all of a sudden it's Moody. And I'm like, how is this Moody? I don't. Thank God it wasn't really, because it didn't make sense to me. So that was probably the biggest shock.
Do you know who plays Barty Crouch Jr. in the movies?
No.
David Tennant.
Wow.
I know. Oh, David Tennant. Okay, so that's interesting. So that was just a shock that actually did shock you. So that's cool that you don't know everything about what's happening. Because I remember when I first read it, that whole thing still confused me. And it took me a few years to truly understand what was actually happening in those scenes with the Polyjuice Potion and Azkaban and switching in and out and all of that.
Yeah, at first it was confusing, and I texted you and I was like, what is this? What's happening? But then I think I figured it out.
Do you have any other shocking moments that you remember?
I guess I wasn't really shocked, but I can't believe they just killed Cedric. Boom, dead.
Kill the spare.
Yeah, I didn't expect that, but I wasn't super shocked by it, because I feel like you don't really know him that well. You're not really connected to him.
I think it's much more impactful in the movies, that death, for sure. So what do you think about the Dursleys?
Ugh, they're annoying.
Yeah.
I feel why does he have to keep going back there? Is there a reasoning why? I will find?
Yeah,
weird.
Maybe. What do you think about the Weasleys?
They're cool. I feel bad that they're poor. I'm like, Harry, just give them money. I was very happy when he gave Fred and George his winnings. I really liked that.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about that. That is something online. People are like, why doesn't Harry, there's so many memes and stuff, why doesn't Harry just give him the money? And I think we also know the Weasleys probably wouldn't accept it, but...
Yeah. Well, yeah, because at the end, Harry's like, buy Ron new robes, but don't tell him it's my money or whatever, because I don't think Ron would accept it.
I love Ron.
That's also what's confusing to me. The robe situation is very confusing. And when they get dressed up fancy, and they have fancy robes, the robe situation is confusing because I don't really remember specifically in the movies. Obviously I know the robe, but do they always just wear robes everywhere?
It's like a school uniform.
Yeah, but I remember Hermione wearing a school uniform. But I don't really remember. I'm excited to watch 4. I want to see what they wore to the dance.
Oh yeah,
they in my mind they're dresses. They wore real dresses, and what did the guys wear?
I don't remember. I think they wore fancy cloaks.
Yeah, that's weird to me, and it's weird that they're not called cloaks; they're called robes. And now I just think of a bathrobe.
That's so
even
funny.
though I know what it is. It's just very weird to me.
Do you have any favorite moments from the first 4 books that really stuck out?
I think the biggest thing is definitely the time travel at the end of 3. That was
so cool.
Really, really cool. I really liked that part.
Okay, so that was shocking. And then you said you were also surprised that Lupin was a werewolf?
Yeah, I guess I just didn't see that. I didn't see it coming. I was like, something sketchy about him, but that's not something I remembered at all. Another thing that really surprised me is that the phoenix tail feather that's in both of Voldemort and Harry's wand, I didn't know it was Fawkes, right? That's his name? Which is Dumbledore's phoenix. Like, it's very weird to me that, like, he's a lot. I mean, I guess he never dies, technically. That was kind of weird. I was like, oh, wow. Like, that's a little, just like a little something that they just snuck in that was like, I liked, I guess.
Yeah, so actually, this is, let's spend a little bit of time, you know, we're talking about everything and we haven't even spoken about Voldemort or Harry, really.
I just don't really feel like anyone is like a standout. Like, I know Harry is like the star, but I just, I don't know. He's not like, I'm not like obsessed with him as like the character. I just kind of take it all like as a whole, I guess.
What I love about Harry is how kind of human he is and how he shows all like different parts of himself. And, and you'll see a little bit more of like teenage Harry in the 5th book, which will be fun. What do you think about just the whole concept that, you know, Voldemort tried to kill Harry, didn't happen, didn't work, and like, what do you think about their relationship and Voldemort in general?
Well, I mean, I feel like they have to be connected somehow.
Okay.
There's something sketchy about Harry and his connection with Slytherin, like being a Parseltongue. That's what it's called, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the hat considering Slytherin for him, and both of their wands coming from the same feather. Like, they are connected somehow. I don't know if it came that connection was there before the curse, though. Like, are they only connected because of the curse? But then Voldemort is like, oh, I guess having Harry's blood like disconnects him from the curse, so like Voldemort doesn't hurt when he's near Harry anymore.
Interesting.
Right? But they are still connected. So it's very weird. I don't know. There's like a sketchy thing there that I'm sure I'll find out about.
What do you think about Dumbledore?
I think he's probably my favorite.
Yeah, you love Dumbledore. I love him.
I think that I like that you don't really know what he's thinking, what he's gonna do. I like that, like, he gives Harry like a little taste every time he wants like some explanation, but doesn't like fully lay it all out there.
One thing that they talk about on MuggleCast that I love so much is how Hogwarts is a security nightmare, and Dumbledore just lets all this stuff.
Oh yeah, but it's like that's like kind of the point though. Like, if it wasn't like, if things weren't allowed, then the book wouldn't be the book.
That's true. Yeah. What do you think about Neville?
I feel bad because
Yeah.
I think he's annoying, and now his parents, the whole situation is
You learn
sad.
about that in the 4th book. It is a very
Yeah.
sad situation. I love Neville.
He's so annoying. He's like a little weasel.
Wait, how? What did he do?
I don't know. I just think he's just like kind of there at like times we don't really need him.
That's so funny. I think the consensus usually in the fandom is people really like Neville, so we'll see.
Sorry.
We'll see.
We can talk about S.P.E.W. That part of Hermione makes me so annoyed.
What? Why?
Like, she just can't let it die. It's like I understand, like, you want them to be free and have paid time off and holidays and getting paid to do their job, but it's just like, that's not what they're made for.
Oh my God, Leanna, you're gonna
I'm gonna get canceled.
Oh, you're gonna get my show canceled.
No, are you serious? It's just a book.
No, that's true. That's true. It is just a book. That is so funny. I have a S.P.E.W jacket, Society for the Promotion of Elfish Welfare. I love that.
Like, but if Dobby wasn't Dobby, like, are we really going to make it? Like, I understand that people deserve, like, equal pay for the things that they do, but like, they have been bred and grown to do this. Like, she's not changing their mind.
Wait, what do you mean they've been bred? Okay,
Like-
this is, Leanna, oh my gosh. This is like going into way past what that nerd thinks about.
Oh my gosh. No, I guess it's just like, they don't know any different, and she has explained it to them, and they still don't want it.
I feel like there's so many like societal things and political things and cultural things that play into that we could talk about
Okay,
here.
but I'm not trying to be like a moral person in real life. I'm talking about a book where she needs to let it go.
Okay.
In real life, I will be a S.P.E.W member, but not
Okay.
when I'm reading.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. So it annoyed you, her obsession with it?
Yes, her determination, even though they keep telling her to stop. They got mad at her. They kicked her out.
That's that's true. That's true. She's like trying to sometimes maybe seem like she knows better. Her heart's in the right place. I love Hermione.
I do agree her heart's in the right place, and if this was real life, I would agree. But
Yeah.
it just felt like she took it a little too far.
So I think this is also a perfect time to plug my friend Professor Julian Womble over at Critical Magic Theory, his podcast, where he goes into these topics a little deeper and in a much more eloquent and informed way than I could here. So definitely recommend you check that out. But Leanna, that is hilarious. I did not expect our conversation to go that way.
You're going to cut all of this out because you think I'm going to get us canceled.
No, I'm not cutting it out. I'm not cutting it out. I think it's important. It's funny because I mean, I love the house elves. I forgot about that whole plot. Man, I need to go back and reread the books.
But like Winky wasn't a good elf. She was bad, and she was helping Barty Jr.
Or was she loyal?
Yeah, but I'm saying it's like they don't want to get paid. Like, are you going to force her to get paid? Are you going to force her to take vacation? She was wallowing for months because she didn't have her master. She was getting drunk. That part I could not stand to read. It was just like hiccup in the middle of her sentence, and I'm like, just get past this lady.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. What other scenes kind of stuck out to you?
I think that this is kind of like a big tangent, but
That's okay.
It makes me very angry that I have to read Hagrid in Hagrid's voice. I have to read Crumb in Crumb's voice. It makes me so angry. Like, I don't want to read. I'm like, I have to think about it, like, really hard.
Oh, that's interesting. Interesting.
Like, I mean, I get it, and I think, like, that's, like, a good job of how you hear the difference in voices, but it's just, like, if I'm trying to read this fast, I can't. I really got to sit there and think about it.
Yeah. This is making me think we should definitely do an episode for the rest of, like, one episode for book 5, one for book 6, one for book 7.
Really?
Yeah, because there's a lot that happens in each of those books. They're huge.
I know, but I don't even know if I'm mentally prepared to start reading them.
That's okay. I mean, we'll do episodes as you're ready. And everybody, please don't spoil Leanna. So, Leanna, what are some of your predictions of what you think will happen?
I feel like I can't truly predict because it's like, do I know what's really going to happen? A lot of things I'm like, I have no idea. Like, I'm ready to see this. I'm very excited for Bellatrix. If there is one person, like, on the evil side that I really am excited for, it's her.
What about her?
Like, I just want to see how she is and, like, who they explain her to be. Because I don't remember her a lot. My memory of her the most is really the Harry Potter ride. Like,
oh, okay.
It's, like, kind of pitiful how she acts in the ride. Like, she just wants to, like, make Voldemort happy and obey him. I hate that. I hate that all of them just want to, like, obey him. Like, he's really this amazing guy. Like, what? I don't understand. But I'm excited to see, like, her character, like, development.
Interesting.
Is she in book 5?
I'm not telling you.
Okay. Well, because they started talking about the Lestranges, but they didn't specify who.
Yeah, there's a lot that happens.
I'm also very annoyed with Fudge. I think he's so annoying. Yeah. And also, like, the Malfoys, like, how do you not see that they're evil?
How do you not see that the Malfoys are evil?
Yeah. Why does everyone think that they're like, oh, they're better people now? They're so creepy and, like, bad.
But who thinks that?
Well, I guess really Fudge was the one that was, like, defending them. But I feel like Snape kind of thinks so, too.
Well, I will say you'll get a lot more clarification into things like that in the next few books.
I don't see a world where the Malfoys are doing this for good.
Okay. I won't spoil. How excited are you to read the next few books?
I feel like I'm excited, but I know it's a lot, and, like, I'm not mentally prepared at the moment. I'm not in the state of mind for it.
Were you shocked that Scabbers was Peter Pettigrew, or did you know that already?
I didn't know, but I had like a feeling that he was not great. Like there was something off.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Because I know that was a really shocking moment for a lot of people.
Really? Well, like, because Crookshanks didn't like him.
Oh, yeah.
And I believe the cat.
Yeah. Well, everybody, if you can think of maybe something I didn't ask Leanna about from the first 4 books, feel free to email me and let me know. And we might, if there's enough, we could either do another episode talking about the first 4 books, or I could bring it up whenever we cover the 5th book in that episode. And you could also feel free to start emailing me things that I should ask Leanna about the rest of the books, and I'll sort of put them aside for whenever we get there, but definitely do not spoil her. Leanna, so overall, you did not want to read Harry Potter. You've read the first 4 books. You have 3 more to go. You have the movies you're watching alongside them. You have the theme park you want to go check out. What is it like for you now entering the Harry Potter fandom?
It's weird because I'm like, am I a part of the fandom? When I think about the Harry Potter fandom, I feel like these books were like life-changing for people. And like this like community in general is like life-changing. And for me, I really think it's truly just because I'm not a fantasy fan. Like, I enjoy the books, but I don't see, like, I'm not going to get, like, everything. I'm not going to get a robe. I'm not going to get, like, I do want a wand. I think that would be cool. But I don't feel like I'm not, I'm not going to be, like, a collector. Yeah. I just think that, like, I'm going to enjoy this. I think it's also just because I'm doing it now and not when it came out. I feel if I was into it when it came out, or even when the movies came out, I would be a much stronger fan. Because even when the movies came out, I didn't really go and see them.
Right. Well, you're always welcome in the Harry Potter fandom. And the magic isn't necessarily in just the work, but it really is in the community. And I cannot wait to go to Hogwarts with you after you have read all the books.
I am very excited for that.
All right, Leanna, so where can people find you?
Well, they can find me with the Long Live Taylor podcast, because that's the only place you'll really find me. So if you want to watch or listen to my podcast, it is the Long Live Taylor pod, and it is that on Instagram and TikTok and Threads as well.
Awesome. Definitely go check it out. And I'm hoping to be a guest on there sometime soon. I keep asking.
No, I think we're going to wait until after the concert.
After?
Yeah. And so we can talk about your whole experience.
Okay. So you don't want to talk about my prep before?
I feel like we could talk about the prep in the post.
Okay.
I don't know. I haven't asked Caitlin at all. I have no idea. That's just that's my mind about it, I think. Unless you want to be on it before and after.
I mean, yes, because I want to talk about all these songs.
We'll talk to Caitlin and we'll see.
We'll talk. All right. Well, thank you for being here. And I am very excited for us to cover. Yeah, I definitely think we should cover the 5th book on its own episode, because we could get into some more of the plot points. But I feel like the first 4 books, it was good that we kind of, wrapped it up like this. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Me too.
Thank you all so much for listening. And please be sure that you are following That Nerd Thing in your favorite podcast app so that you never miss an episode. And I would love it so much if you can leave That Nerd Thing a 5-star review wherever you're listening to this podcast. And if you're watching on YouTube, please be sure to follow the channel and then like this video. You can get in touch with me via email at thatnerdthingpod@gmail.com. And remember, you can send me thoughts about this episode, questions you want me to ask Leanna in a future episode, or just anything nerdy at all. I love hearing from listeners. And you could comment and follow me on my socials at That Nerd Thing Pod. And please be sure to share the show with your nerdy friends. And we will see you next time.
Bye.